Hey, good sirs and good madams. This is Jesse McGrath. That's Wilder Shaw, and you found yourself at Backwards Star Galactica. We are a podcast that watches Battlestar Galactica backwards and reports about it.
What do you mean by reports?
Well, we report back. It's sort of like it. I mean, this is basically a book report, but for a television show backwards in audio.
Can you imagine if in school you were assigned a book report and you were like, I read it from the last page to the first page. Here's my report.
You would be put into a school for like...
Yeah, Charles Xavier's. You'd be put into the X-Men school because you're super smart. Is that how that works?
You think you're in X-Men school, but really you're like in a juvenile detention center.
They just tell you it's X-Men school.
And they say those exact words.
Ooh.
They say you're going to go to X-Men school, and you're like, oh shit, I knew I was different.
Boy, we are.
So Professor Xavier had X school or whatever.
Uh-huh.
What's the Wabu McGrath school look like? What kind of fun shit are we teaching there?
We're teaching them all the useful skills. Number 1, how to dunk a chip in a guacamole.
Ooh, Dunkers 101. I love it. Is it
Dunkers
it's strictly chip to guac, or is that
you got to learn the basics first, and then you can get creative with your dunk, you know?
What's the final of that class? Is it Pocky? Is Pocky too easy?
Here's the final of the class. We put out a variety of sauces and dunkable things. And if you dunk something stupid, you're fucking out of there.
Oh,
there is like an actual Shark Tank beneath you, so the floor opens up,
right,
and you fall to your death.
Yeah, it's like hummus and ranch dressing and like some mustards. Yeah.
Right, like if you pick up like you get a spoonful of ranch and then you try to dunk that in the hummus.
Okay, so you've come to this school for morons and you progress backward. You regressed entirely.
Yeah.
You're just making dum-dum soup or something, whatever that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Can I tell you, speaking of dunking things that sound wrong, you know my thing, right? Like I have a gross thing that I dunk.
Oh.
And I'm like aware that this is gross.
I think I know, but hit me again.
I do like fruit and ranch dressing.
Oh, I don't know if I did know that horrible thing about you. What?
I mean, I can't speak to all fruit, obviously, that's crazy. But here's my justification. Sometimes fruit's in a salad, like not a fruit salad, but like a green salad. And sometimes that salad is ranch based. Like apples.
Oh.
I'll dip a slice of apple into ranch. It's good.
That's sick, dude. Don't do that. I realize that we have a mature rating on this podcast, but there's still a limit to what you can say.
What's so different between an apple slice and like a celery slice?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't call any amount of celery a slice. I don't know that celery gets
you
sliced.
Slice off a piece of celery.
like a fucking loaf of bread.
You know, you're at a picnic and you're like, hey dog, crack me off a slice of that celery.
Mm-hmm. Also, you did pick the most like nonsense veggie that would go in there, but like, come on, man. An apple and ranch sounds gross as hell.
You gotta just try it.
I won't. I recently saw. I mean, since we're just not going to talk about the show at all, I recently saw somebody put squeezed cheese on an Oreo.
Excuse me, what kind of squeezed cheese?
You know, like the cheese that comes in a can. You know, Leaning Tower of Cheese.
Yes.
Onto an Oreo and eat it with their mouth.
I've never heard anyone call it squeezed cheese before.
What do you call it?
Cheese whiz.
Oh yeah, okay.
Squeezed cheese? You don't squeeze the can.
No, I understand. It
doesn't come in a fucking gross tube like a Go-Gurt.
No, it's like toothpaste, dog. You got to roll it from the bottom to get all the goods.
Just go 5 minutes without talking about fucking toothpaste.
Nah.
Welcome to the show.
Holy shit.
This episode is titled "Taking a Break from All Your Worries." Sure can help a lot.
Is it a reference?
It's a Cheers reference. It's got to be because the bar opens in this episode.
Okay.
And it's ironic because everybody's very worried the whole time. It's a very stressful episode for every character.
They really dunked us right back in. I mean, speaking of dunking...
Let me ask you a question. When are we going to fucking learn that every time we're like, ooh, solved it, this show's easy now. It's like Ronald D. Moore is like just listening to this, being like, oh, these fucking morons, I'm going to give them 2 easy ones so they think they know it. This was one of the most confusing in a very long time.
Oh boy, I rewound it at several different parts.
Jesus Christ.
And I still didn't get it.
All over the fucking place.
So do we, I guess, start with characters. No new characters. So that was a relief.
New information about characters. I was not aware that Lee and Dee were married, and now I'm saying it out loud. I fucking hate that their names rhyme.
Yeah, Lee and Dee's no good. And at one point, someone was like, "Do you love Lee?" And I was like, "Love Lee? Come on, you guys could have done better than this."
I don't like that at all. Yeah, so I'm gonna put Lee on the shit list.
Okay, sure.
Because the scene where he's really fucking drunk is too much. We also don't see him get drunk. He just heads to the bar, and then 5 minutes later he's staggering through the halls and falling down. Yeah. He's the drunkest man that ever lived.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna put Starbuck on the shit list.
Yep.
Because the two of them are being dingleberries.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how in love they were. I kind of just thought that they were kind of had a thing, but I didn't realize they're very in love with each other.
Yeah.
And she's boning Tub Lord in a little curtain room,
how several wild people, was that?
With several people just playing cards.
And I love they almost did it the cut was comedic. It was there's a very intense conversation between
It
Tub
might
Lord.
Have been comedic on purpose.
Man, I hope so. Because this is a very intense conversation with Tub Lord and Starbuck. And they're talking about the relationship and how they... And it seems like they just boned.
He was putting his clothes back on. They did.
Yeah. And then they have this whole conversation for 3 minutes. And then it cuts to a wide shot. And you remember that they're in basically a dorm. And there are several people in the room just playing cards and walking up. It looks like a fucking locker room.
Ridiculous. So those are my shit list. Leaderboard, I'm going to give to Prez for firing up some of that nasty, stanky, dank. We're back on the trip to Stank
Stanky!
Boy.
God damn!
So stanky, so danky. It was wonderful. She lights up some stank dank and hands it right over to Gaius, who was a bigger enigma in this episode than I've ever seen him.
Boy, and it doesn't fully work because it doesn't get her the information she wants, but she lights it and takes a drag and hands it to him, and he just goes, touche, which was yeah, good.
Love that.
Nice.
And Looney Bird of the Week, one more shit list. Whoever edited the episode, because it was fucking banana. I did not understand how this was put together. Looney Bird of the Week, Gata.
Okay, yeah. Tell me why.
Stabs Gaius with a pen at the end of this episode for a reason I did not understand.
The only time in television or media in general where I've seen a neck stab occur that doesn't result in almost immediate death. I feel like anytime someone gets stabbed right in the goddamn neck, it's oh shit, well that person's dead. That's it. They're just dead. If James Bond did that with a pen... he just killed that guy.
James Bond. Are you comparing fucking Gata to James Bond?
I'm just saying, in other situations where someone could be stabbed in the neck, there's not even a big sense of urgency.
One is leaping to mind for me. The series finale spoiler alert of Dexter. Dexter stabs a guy in the neck with a pen while everyone in the police station watches.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing came of that.
And that guy dies, right? He dies pretty good dead.
Yeah, well, you're dealing with Dexter and James Bond. These people are not Gata.
Yeah, Gata sucks. Also, did not understand Gata's it has some weird allegiance double cross situation.
Also, is he a psychic?
Oh my god, I have no idea. I mean, we'll get into that later, but with that was
all right. Give me your shitless and leaderboard.
Okay, so we're pretty on point actually. Lee and Starbuck both shitless for the same reasons you said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna toss Galen in on there too because he's talking about this horrible fight he got into with his wife, and although it doesn't say physical fight, and that's probably not what he was talking about, I just can't. It made my skin crawl.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna toss a leaderboard to I think the second week in a row, Shitty Doctor.
Oh yeah, he wasn't bad.
We'll get into the plot of this episode, but there is some highly suspect strategies being employed by Admiral Adama, who more and more is just the worst person alive. He's a bad guy.
I don't understand a single minute of that sequence.
So all you need to know is that Adama is torturing Gaius, and not torturing like, oh, he's really torturing him. Like, legit, he's like, I have this torture drug, and we're gonna torture him. Yeah. And the first person to like tell them to shut it down is fucking shitty doctor. He's like, that's what is going on. We gotta stop, baby.
And Doctor hates Gaius.
Yeah, and so it's like wowzers, bowsers. I have 2 loony birds, and neither of them are Gata. So this episode was truly off the fucking chain.
Yeah, Looney Tunes episode. What you got?
Yeah. So first of all, Lee, for the scene you're talking about when he's drunk and he's like, "Where's my ring?" That shit was crazy. He's insane. He's like throwing over boxes and shit. And then the president gets Looney Bird for the scene where she's
screaming
at Gaius.
It was pretty insane.
Yelling at the top.
That was one of the reasons I put her on leaderboard. I liked that part.
Agreed. No, agreed. She's like screaming. She's like, take him to the fucking airlock, basically. Like, it's so
they said
good.
Frack so much in this episode that I forgot how much I hate Frack.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
I also want to give a sort of leader or shit list to D, because I don't just... Her eyes are so weird. You ever notice that? She's got weird eyes.
She does.
So bright and weird, like cat's eyes, D's eyes. Oh, D's eyes. Cry every night.
Like a cat's
D's eyes have seen a lot of loves, but they're never going to see another one. Look at how with you.
Don't seem to be living at all until she bites you. And then her eyes roll back.
Okay, we're doing this part now.
Yeah, so I would say this is a rare episode where, first of all, Gaius didn't get shitlist. Second of all,
yeah,
almost every other character just like I was either like, wow, you're the worst, or like, oh man, you're killing it this episode. Like everyone was on one end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
No Tublord and Gaius. Usually I feel like automatic shitlist, and both of them were heavily in this episode.
Tublord was barely in it, didn't do anything dumb.
Yeah. I mean, he was in it a bunch.
But guess what? Gaius is a Tublord now.
Okay, yeah, so we'll get to
another
that.
Another day, another Tublord.
Yeah, he's like on several occasions. This episode was so fucking wild, man.
You hear that?
Ooh, that sweet sound.
Yeah.
Like a spoonful of honey.
Yeah, I always compare sounds to a spoonful of honey.
Those sweet horns. This week's sponsor is coffee. I love coffee so much.
Are you a big coffee, like enough to give it a sponsorship?
So here's the deal. I didn't used to be a coffee boy until I became a teacher, and I had to wake up at fucking 5:30 every morning. And now I am I'm just fully addicted to caffeine. I mean, like and not in like a way where it's like, gotta have my coffee. Like I still usually only have 1 cup a day, or one, I have my little travel mug. But I gotta tell you, one of my most just, intimate pleasures is waking up on a Saturday and I have a nice coffee pot in my house, so I don't even have to go to the outside.
Okay, quit bragging. We can't all have a coffee pot.
Fixing myself a pot of coffee and just slurping that shit down. Ooh, so good. And it's getting chilly, and that hot coffee, so good.
Cool. So you've discovered coffee.
Yeah, I used to just not drink it at all, and then when I started drinking it, I was like,
How do you take it? How you take your coffee?
You know what's weird? I take it fucking black.
Same.
I don't put anything in it.
Yeah, I almost said I'm a black guy, but that's not what I mean.
Oh, no, you're not.
Yeah.
I beg to differ.
Yeah, black. I like it black, too. I don't like how I'm speaking now.
Yeah, I like my coffee without anything in it is one way to say it. That would not sound weird. Unless I decide I don't want a black coffee, in which case I'm getting some wild shit like a pumpkin spice latte or a mocha.
We are talking about this. Pumpkin spice can eat my shit, but
yeah, that's fine.
I don't like Starbucks. I hate coffee at Starbucks.
You're incorrect about that, but
I think their coffee's bad. I'm a coffee bean boy myself.
You know what coffee I've been making at home?
What?
Kirkland brand, motherfucker. Guess what? It's so good. It is hot nectar, and I don't even care that I'm addicted to caffeine. I don't even like. It's a literal addiction. Like if I don't have it, I get a headache. It doesn't matter to me. I'm very okay with it.
You get a headache if you don't have it?
I mean, I guess like not always, but sometimes in the morning I'll wake up with a headache and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't have coffee. Let me get some coffee, and it cures it. So I would call that a caffeine addiction.
Yeah, I would call that a drug addiction.
Yeah, well, it's like a drug, but this is the
addicted to drugs.
That's fine. I'll accept that.
Raging drug addict.
I was talking to this with our friend of the show, Mike the Bike, who, if you stay tuned, will give you his phone number a little bit later.
Yes, end of the
And
episode.
Mike takes if you don't know who Mike is, which almost none of you do, he takes very few hard stances. And I was talking to him about this, and I was like, it kind of sucks that I'm a caffeine addict. Maybe I should start drinking tea or something, like really kind of wane off of it. And his response was, I have so very few joys in life. I'm going to cling to this one.
Very upsetting thing to say.
Yeah, but also I was like, you know what? I'm there with you, bud. So I just keep it going. So coffee, I love you.
Great. Did you get a text message just now?
Oh, boy.
Because guess what's back with Sean McGrath? You got it. It's corporate snacks. Yummy.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Corporate Snacks, everybody's favorite segment where I, Wilder Shaw, try a product from an enormous corporation and review it for you. That's
Great.
right. Today we have, why don't you tell me what I've sent to you?
This isn't a YouTube channel. You can't do this. You can't use
Yes,
my
it is.
fucking song again.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. Go on, tell me what it is.
This is Hershey's Gold Caramelized Cream, peanuts and pretzels. I don't know what of those is ingredients and just descriptors.
Right,
I don't know.
exactly. That's why I'm so baffled by this. It makes there's so many words on it.
Yeah, there is.
This could either be really fucking good or a goddamn disaster.
I bet it's not great.
So
Well, maybe.
also,
I guess it's just a lot of salt and
I'm gonna send you a
caramel.
picture of what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not like the biggest Hirsch daddy alive, but
Yeah, but this is like not anything. This is not what they
Yeah.
had. This is a
I
different
fucking
product.
despise their cookies and cream, and here I go. I am taking a bite of a whole. I'm gonna put the whole square in my mouth.
You talking about the whole rectangle? Like you
No,
put the
like
whole
a-
thing. You
like a
didn't break off a
bite-sized
piece.
I did not expect to like this.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna talk shit.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh.
I hate to tell you, but I've had one of these, and not as a bit. I just had it because it looked good, and
It is good.
it's good.
It is a little
It's sweet as fuck.
sweet. Yeah, it's a little. This might be some white chocolate floating around in here. White chocolate can gargle my farts. I don't care for white chocolate.
No, it's bad.
This is crunchy, salty, a little bit too sweet.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
It's one of those things where you're eating and you're like, ooh, this kind of it tastes like a toothache. It tastes a little bit like a toothache, but.
I for sure can't eat this whole bar.
Well, that's because you're a coward. I would never open a candy bar and be like, I'll save some of this for later.
Ooh, it's too rich for
Fucking
me.
toad. Either eat it or don't save it. You either eat it or you throw it away.
You what?
Eat it or throw it away. Eat the whole thing or...
You eat it or throw it away? Fucking maniac.
Well, I just don't want you putting, like, 3 Hershey squares in the fridge. I could just see it already, and it's making me upset just thinking
I'm
about
not gonna just stack them on their lonesome.
Just loose. You just put them in the vegetable crisper loose.
Yeah.
You want a Hershey's? I got a fistful in the fridge. Just
Yeah,
wait.
just reach into your pocket like Napoleon Dynamite. I've taken 2 bites. I can't eat anymore. I did like it, but it's too rich for me.
Oh boy. You sent me some sugar, some nutritional facts. It is nutritious.
It's highly nutritious.
Where's my sugar count? That's what I'm
What's
looking for
shea
here.
oil?
I don't know. 20 grams of sugar. I don't know what that means, but it also says added
You don't
sugar.
know what that means?
33%. Well, I know what it means, but I don't know what it is in comparison to like a Snickers or like a regular Hershey's. Like I don't know if it's more or less, and I'm not sure as hell not going to look it up.
See, my thing about is you're eating a candy bar. Why are you looking at the sugar? You're either eating sugar or you're not eating sugar.
Well, I'm only curious because it's so sweet. Like I eat candy bars.
I think it's because of like the type of. I don't even understand what this flavor of chocolate is.
It's not chocolate. It's caramel.
It can't have no chocolate.
Why not?
Caramelized cream.
Yeah, man. I think it's...
Oh, you know what you're tasting? You're tasting the thiamine mononatrate.
I knew that you were going to just read a stupid ingredient off of the ingredients
that
list.
Joke that we've done 2 million times in our last podcast.
Yeah, and I knew you were going to do that because I had just zoomed in on it and was about to do the same thing.
Great. So I'm going to give this a 1 thumb up and 1 thumb down. That's my rating.
That isn't how it works though, the thumb thing, just if you're curious. It's usually just like a 1 or 2 or none.
No,
I don't think you do
both.
a 1 up, 1 down.
1 thumb up, 1 thumb down.
Okay, Wilder's playing Heads Up 7 Up with the Hershey's bar in his room. But just for the record, this was a fine segment. Don't you dare fucking bite off my theme song ever again.
I changed it. I said yummy instead of slurp or whatever you say.
Yeah, but I do a different one every time. I said crunch one time and I said slurp the other time.
All right, well, you didn't say yummy.
I guess you got me there.
This episode opens up with Gaius is singing like a spooky nursery rhyme, like a trailer for a horror movie.
Yeah, and there is like weird imposed images. Like it's a horror film for sure.
Ghoulie Caprica is like helping him kill himself.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and explain what that was to everybody? I already know what it was, but I just you should say it to everybody.
Right. Well, just to paint the picture, he's in his cell. We still haven't seen him be imprisoned. And honestly, at this point, I don't know what he was imprisoned for. I thought I kind of knew, and this episode really punched me in the face. And he is tying a noose, and Ghost Caprica is helping him tie the noose. And then she kicks the bed out from under him, and he starts to choke and die. And
why he want to hang himself?
Yeah, I don't know.
And Gata's like listening to him sing, by the way. Like Gata has like a dog.
Somehow Gata hears him and comes to like speak with him in the middle of the night, and the guard's like, you can't do that. And then I guess they see that he's...
It's interesting that Gata saves him only to try and kill him later.
Right. And, well, yeah. And because I thought like, oh, maybe Gata didn't want to kill him initially, but realized that Gaius had like compromising information about Gata, but I do not get how Gata is involved in this, because once again, we have seen everything after this, and I don't ever remember those two interacting or having any type of like conversation about one another ever again. Like Gaius makes it seem like he knows some information about Gata that's like damning.
Boy, I didn't understand a minute.
But the important part of the whole episode was that when he kills himself, he arises in a tub of fucking milk goop. It's just this nasty... I mean,
that part was one of the most confusing things I've seen on the show so far.
Yes. I don't want to get too blue.
Oh, you about to work blue?
It looked like jizz. He looked like a tub of jizz.
It was
jizzum.
It was a big ol' cum tub, and...
Oh, no. Please, I have to ask you right now, please don't call the episode Cum Tub. We will be thrown in prison. We'll be thrown in prison. Don't.
You want to get all of our fucking listeners to go away?
They will call the FBI.
So fucking gross. And he arises out of this cum tub, and there's like 6... Caprica 6s, all like kind of like, ooh, like fawning on him, and then they start to scratch him till he bleeds.
And in that moment, he says something to the effect of, I knew I was one of you. Like, we learned in this episode that he wants to be a Cylon.
Yeah, which is weird. We also learned that shot in like the opening of like a guy ducking behind a woman while the thing explodes was him and Caprica.
Yes.
I guess maybe that was obvious, but I never noticed it.
No, I didn't either.
The only thing worse than a tub lord is a Gaius tub lord.
For sure. And the fact that he didn't end up on shit list for that is like speaks volumes of this episode.
It's true. Another thing that's going on is that the bar has opened this like week or day or something. Everyone's
and it is
like
popping.
Hanging out at the bar.
Yeah, it's weird. So is the rest of the series just not gonna have a bar?
That sucks, because every time something's happening in the bar, I like it.
Well, and does that mean we're not gonna get any more Pyramid?
Oh no! If there isn't actual footage of Tublord playing Pyramid, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
I guarantee you there is not. There's no way. We also, so what's weird is there's this like plot, this like seemingly very important plot of Gaius and the president, and like they're trying to get information out of him, and he's like trying to kill himself, and we learn that he's doing like a hunger strike. There's all of this like very important information about that. And then like secondary but pretty much equal screen time is like Lee and Starbuck love each other, but they also are married. And I don't get why they're not together. Is there a reason that we've learned?
I don't know if we know yet. I didn't really realize how in love they were, which is kind of like makes the show a little more heartbreaking that that flashback in the finale where like they almost hook up but never do, and then they never actually end up together because like Dee shoots herself in the head for reasons I don't understand, and Tublord flies a ship into the sun.
Yep.
Maybe they would have been together had Kara not just fucking disappeared into the universe or whatever.
Yeah, I don't. But
so
also,
this is real Kara. She hasn't died yet.
Right, but also like we don't really get that tension in this half of the series the portion of the series that we've
Doesn't
seen.
It seem like so much is different from like the end of the show?
Well, yeah, 100%. And we're not even
it is
halfway
a
through.
Season and a half away, but like still,
I mean, that's not that big of a
I feel like I don't notice like the transitions between where the characters end up and where they are right now.
That's what I'm saying, is like it seems like Starbuck now and Starbuck in like the last like 10 episodes are not even the same character. Like
I
not
don't
by
really understand how the tubs work.
Well, yeah, okay.
What is a tub? What's a tub?
There's so many.
There's a tub on every ship. Can anybody be a tub lord? Like, it seems like Tub Lord, OG Tub Lord, we assumed was the only tub lord.
And we were
and then
couldn't be
he
wrong.
got shot in the head and they were like, better put him in the tub.
Right. But
so just anybody can be a tub lord, it sounds like.
Well, but there was no actual tubs in this one. They were all visions. They were all vision tubs.
Right. So speaking of visions, at one point Adama, like Jesse was saying, like puts Gaius on this like drug. And it's basically this fucking creepy ass like Eternal Sunshine style scene where they're talking to Gaius, but he's having his vision and he's in a big, spooky big black lake. Adama's like leading him through it. I really couldn't follow it.
I actually liked the concept behind this. The Adama makes it clear that they have this drug that they use for interrogating, and it's basically a torture drug. And what it does is it puts the user into like a coma state, sort of, or like almost like a lucid dream.
Gaius is fully like awake and talking through the entire thing.
Right. So it's like this weird.
What's the information that he's trying to extract? Just like why he helped the Cylons?
I guess
kill the planet.
Yeah, and this episode
why is
was
Caprica called Caprica if the planet was called Caprica?
Okay, yeah, I've been wondering that for the entirety of this program, and I have no idea. So this drug makes the idea is like Adama is like, I can save you from this big lake you're in, but which I assumed was a giant tub, to be honest. You called it a lake, but I thought he was just in Big Tub.
Oh, Big Tub. You never told me about Big Tub.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you now. So he's in Big Tub, and the idea is like, if you answer these questions, I'll help you get out of the big tub. And it clearly affects him physically, because towards the end, it's like he's going to die if we don't pull him out of this coma or this weird fugue state. Like, I don't know what the fuck
Yeah, I don't get it.
he's in. But I will say that this season in particular has made me, like, very much think Adama is a bad person. Like, just like a bad... Mm-hmm. He's a bad guy. Mm-hmm. He and I think that this is like what happens when you watch a program backwards, is like, instead of seeing someone redeem all of their bad things,
right, we just watch them get
turn to shit. They just turn to dumb shit.
Breaking Bad would have been the show to do this with.
Oh yeah, sure. He just becomes a mild-mannered fucking science teacher with cancer. That would have been great.
Yeah, it's really happy ending.
And President's doing the same thing. She's like insane. She's screaming at him, and it just seems like Gaius like is like, yeah, I did bad things, but it wasn't really like, if he wasn't gonna admit it, but there.
He also says that, like, and it seems like, I feel like he's telling the truth because he's being tortured while he says it. He says that he was not aware that the Cylons were going to destroy the planet.
Right, and he says at one point, like,
what's Earth? Let me rephrase. What's Earth?
You didn't rephrase.
Is Earth Caprica?
Yeah, I think so.
Because they always call the planet Caprica, but they all like in the opening of the show it says they're looking for.
Yeah, I
don't get it, man. This is confusing to watch a show backwards.
Here's what I think. I think Earth is a general term, and Caprica is a specific term because there are more than one. So I think like our Earth is called Caprica, or you know, our Earth is not called Caprica because we know that they end up being on our Earth. Their previous Earth was Caprica. I think they're using Earth in a general term, not in the term.
In the opening, it says it's like searching for a home called Earth.
Oh, well, fuck, I don't know.
Isn't that what the opening title say?
Yeah, I never watched them.
You never watched the opening titles?
No,
not the previously on, just like the.
No, I know. I for similar reasons to previously on.
I would like you to perform the opening title theme song right now,
where it's like what?
Yeah,
and it's like you know what I'm talking about?
Talked about that the opening titles have like a trailer for the episode, and every time, have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like 12. That one I look away from for sure. The one that's like 12 Cylon models or whatever.
No, not that one. Like at the end of the actual like credits, like opening credit sequence, there's like a bunch of flashes of like what happens in the episode that you're about to watch.
The show is weird. It doesn't make any sense. So yes, and also like at the end of every program, it does some credits and it's quiet, and then it goes into this very intense like tribal. It's jarring. If you don't remember that it's happening, which I very rarely do, it spooks the hell out of me every time.
Yeah.
There's also, let me just do some quick hits of confusing things because we're running long right now.
Yeah.
They talk about the Eye of Jupiter. What is that? We get a different flashback of Gaius in a different tub, and there's a bunch of dirty baby hands all over him, and then there's a bunch of peasants around him. What was that?
And they say it's the final five.
Yes, and what was that? And then there's another part where the president says the quote, and I wrote it down, quote, "We have to eat his fear." What's that mean? At one point, somebody mentions the one whose name may not be spoken. Oh, Voldemort. What does that mean? So much of this episode. We don't even have time to cover 100, 60% of the other things that I did not understand in this episode. What was any of that? Can you give me any answers for the spooky baby hands or for the Eye of Jupiter or for eating fear? Wilder.
Not a one.
God,
not a one.
fuck.
I was thinking the same shit. I thought Voldemort too.
Of course you did.
I even wrote down Voldemort as a new character, but forgot to say it.
Yeah, well, I guess you got it in right at the wire here. I also last thing I want to mention is this episode kind of ends with the like love side plot ends with everyone in the only common area there is, I guess, the bar / restaurant, just a bar, and Lee and Dee are sitting with each other, and Tublord and Starbuck are sitting with each other, and they're basically both couples are on separate sides of this establishment trying to make it clear to their significant other that they're committed to that person, but the whole time
while also staring at each other.
Yes, like
it's so like, stupid.
What are you doing?
Also, like the fact, I know we're running long, but the fact that Tublord believes her that she's like not into Lee, even though like scenes before she said that she was in love with him.
Yes.
And then like the fact that she's like taking whiskey shots is enough. I don't get it.
We're back to square fucking one. It's been a while since we had a real burner. Just one. We didn't fucking get it all, and it delivered. Thank you, Ronald D, because you delivered a confusing fucking bucket of mess that I do not understand even slightly.
Ronald Big D Moore.
Yowzers.
Well, that'll do it for us this time. Thank you to Adam Faye for the art. Thank you to T-Bone Jones for the theme music. We'll just give you Mike's phone number next time, so tune in the next episode. You can follow us on Twitter, BackwardsSG, Instagram, BackwardsStarGalactica. You got any last words? I'm gonna kill you.
That's a lot of pressure, I guess. My wife